Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Punishment. Say hello, Scribe.
Hello, Scribe.
Your Lord of Pennies. Say hello, Satsu. Satsu will be back. And your Lord of Puppies is joining us. Say hello, SDA.
Hello.
I think Satsu's having technical difficulties.
No, I'm here. I just finished cooking and I forgot to turn the fucking grease off, so I got up and ran in the kitchen like shit. Okay, what's up, guys?
Same old, same old. How is everyone today? How are you, Satsu?
I am good. I just got done cooking, but I can't eat yet, so I will be much better in a couple minutes.
Scribbles, how you doing?
I have already eaten something, and otherwise I am well.
And SDA, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I got to hug on the baby a little bit. I can't do it much, not like I did with Little Butt, because Little Butt preceded everything that's wrong with me, so I got to hold her a lot. And I just can't do it with the little one now, and it breaks my heart. But I do, when I can hold her, I just look at her and I stare at her and I make the little happy baby noises.
No.
She's such a cutie.
Apple bubble.
She's amazing, and she's so gorgeous, and she actually, for those of you who don't know, when babies are first born, their eyes don't they can't see very far, and so you see them looking around a lot. But today she just stared at Grandpa when she was on my lap and I was feeding her. She just stared at me. I was like, "Oh, my baby, would you like a Porsche?"
That's awesome.
Scribe, I hope you have the breaking CNN story from today, because it's made me very happy, and I don't want to give it away to the audience yet.
Well, I've got two, because one is the headline story right now at CNN, and the other one just kind of happened a few minutes ago, kind of thing.
Okay, so with that, unless somebody has something else before we jump into the news, because I'm so excited to talk about CNN tonight.
No, I don't. I'm good.
Squishy says hello.
Hi, Squishy.
Hi.
So Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Smash that like button, guys, and support your favorite creators. Thank you, Flair Fritz. This is something we need to do before we go on. Guys, it's Fritz's birthday.
Wait, Fritz was born?
Fritz was born.
Oh.
And Fritz is old enough to drink alcohol now.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
A 21-year-old birthday. And thank you for the donation, Fritz. Been watching since the original test stream. Do not watch. It's great to have been watching long enough to get 2 birthday songs, hopefully more. You actually are one of the few people who get 2 from me in one day, because I sang to you earlier, and I promised you if you came back, we would sing to you again.
Double dipping, I see.
Indeed. And so we're going to do that right now. Flair, you were a degenerate, but I fucking love you. You're an amazing person. And for a degenerate, that's hard to pull off. So seriously, this one's for you, buddy. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday
To you.
Happy birthday, you fucking racist.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I think Scribe is dying.
Do we need to call somebody?
Happy birthday, Flair Fritz.
We love you, Claire.
Happy birthday.
Happy 21st birthday.
I really think we should call somebody.
To you.
To you.
Monkey's gonna pass out.
Happy birthday, Flair.
I was trying to do my best shrieking goats impersonation at the first, but didn't really pan out.
But I think it did.
All right.
Wait. His kitten. Wait, is it your birthday?
What?
Well, his kitten said I'm 50. I thought we sang to you the other day. Am I just okay? Maybe I'm just reading too much into chat. Seriously, Fritz, thanks for hanging out with us all of this time. Happy birthday, dude. Johnny Hellcat, thank you. You can't double dip. It's like putting your mouth all over the dip. No, it's not.
Okay.
My youngest son will not double dip into his own ketchup.
Oh, okay. Is that a euphemism for something?
No, seriously. Like if he's eating a French fry and he dips it once and he takes a bite, he won't dip it again.
Okay.
Into his own ketchup?
Okay, everybody's breaking up for me. I have to turn off this story because it's running a video. I'm sorry. What'd you say, STA?
Into his own ketchup? Like not
Yeah.
sharing it with anybody else?
His own ketchup.
What the hell's wrong with your son?
I don't know. He doesn't like double dipping. He hates double dipping.
He's a weirdo.
Now,
Yeah,
That is true.
agree.
with the formalities out of the way, Scribbles.
Okay, well, I'm going to assume I know which story you're talking about
Oh,
because
sure.
it's a little bit of just desserts kind of thing. But the latest, White House suspends press pass of CNN's Jim Acosta. The latest on President Donald Trump's news conference Wednesday. The White House says it has suspended the press pass of CNN White House correspondent Jim Acosta. The suspension comes after a heated confrontation Wednesday between Acosta and President Donald Trump during a news conference. They began sparring after Acosta asked Trump about the caravan of migrants heading from Latin America to the southern U.S. border. When Acosta tried to follow up with another question, Trump said, "That's enough," and a White House aide unsuccessfully tried to grab the microphone from Acosta. White House Press Secretary Sarah... Wait a second, AP.
That's the whole part.
That's watering the situation down just a bit. Acosta was all grabby and pushed her aside and held onto the microphone with both hands.
They didn't even mention it was a she.
No, they didn't. The AP, you are not. Okay, this isn't fake news. This is incomplete news. Let me see if I can find something that has a bit more. Okay, we'll go to CNN's version. I went to the AP because I thought the last place I should go for this story is CNN, but we'll see how CNN has framed it.
For the record, I'm going to put a still shot of what happened on the screen for you guys. That's just part of it. Him wrestling with the mic with the little woman.
All right, so here's CNN's version.
Jim.
In a stunning break with protocol, the White House said Wednesday night it's suspending CNN chief White House correspondent Jim Acosta's press pass, quote, until further notice. The move came just hours after Acosta drew the ire of President Trump and his allies by asking multiple questions at They don't even mention.
I'm sure they don't. Nobody's going to be mentioning this.
CNN doesn't even mention that he fought with the aide.
Real quick, thank you again,
Wow.
Johnny Hellcat. It was a Seinfeld reference, one of few I like. What was?
Wow. So CNN has just completely obscured the events.
Oh, and you know they would have absolutely talked about it if it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, no.
I
You have to
mean,
scroll.
I can't imagine why they wouldn't mention it.
Okay, they scroll all the way. If you scroll all the way down to where they start getting to photos, you have to go like 3 pages deep into this thing. Then they start talking about the events. A White House staffer hurried over to grab the mic and carry it to the next reporter Trump chose, NBC's Peter Alexander. Quote, "If I may ask one other question, are you worried?" Acosta tried to point out that the other reporters had also asked multiple questions. "That's enough," Trump said. The White House staffer tried to grab the mic from Acosta, but he held on to it. "Pardon me, ma'am," he said as he looked towards Trump, then ducked out of camera view. What? Oh, sorry, as she looked towards Trump. I was talking about the aide, not Acosta. Then ducked out of camera view. "Peter, let's go," Trump said, trying to move on to Alexander. "If I can ask, on the Russia investigation," Acosta said, "are you concerned that you may have indictments coming down?" "I am not concerned about anything with the Russia investigation because it is a hoax," Trump said. "That's enough. Now put down the mic." Trump backed away from the podium for a moment, signaling he was done, while Acosta asked the question again and then let go of the mic. While Alexander started to ask his question, Trump said, "I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself, having you working for them," he pointed to Acosta. "You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN." "Well, I'm not a big fan of yours either, to be honest," Trump said to Acosta. Oh my God. Anyway. So that happened.
I am enjoying this, and I'm actually tweeting these exact words more than I should be. because Jim Acosta's a dick, and for all the talk about how Donald Trump should be more presidential and how he's mean to the press, you have people like Jim who go in there and they're blatant dicks. They're not just asking questions. They're combative. Their bias is clearly showing. And fuck you, Jim. Stop being a douchebag and pushing women around. You had already asked a question. We were already told that you'd asked about the immigrants, and then you wanted to ask about Russia. You don't get to ask all the questions. It's not new for a press conference to work that way. In most press conferences, people get 2 questions tops. Anyhow, fuck you, Jim.
All right. Let's see. The other big news today was that Jeff Sessions has been fired.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, the events
Wait.
and what?
Dun, dun, dun.
There you go. She wanted to do it.
The events and analysis of this event come to us from our favorite friend at CNN, Chris Cillizza. And I had the opportunity today to watch a very brief video on Twitter starring Chris Cillizza talking about the aftermath of the election. It's the first time I think I've ever heard him speak. I don't think I've ever heard his voice before. And he could double for Mickey Mouse. It's actually kind of interesting. Nice. Anyway, this is what Chris has to tell us about. This is how he assesses Sessions being fired. Donald Trump just seized control of the Russia probe. A day after voters chose divided government by handing the House majority back to Democrats, President Donald Trump made the sort of "I do what feels right when it feels right" move that has become his hallmark over his past 3 years in public life. Past 3 years.
Well, the campaign, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay. He fired Jeff Sessions. And in doing so, Trump appears to have wrestled back operational control of special counsel Robert Mueller's probe into Russian interference in the 2016 election and the possibility of collusion between Trump's campaign and a foreign power. In firing Sessions, by tweet, no less, Trump announced that Matt Whitaker, Sessions' chief of staff at Justice, would become the acting attorney general, a post he can hold for roughly 200 days because he has not been confirmed previously by the Senate. But even having Whitaker in the job for 100 days could be enough for Trump. Whitaker has been openly critical of the breadth of Mueller's investigation and even mused on this chain of events in a 2017 interview with CNN. Quote, "I could see a scenario where Jeff Sessions is replaced. It would recess appointment, okay, and that attorney general doesn't fire Bob Mueller, but he just reduces his budget so low that his investigations grind almost to a halt." Given Whitaker's past comments, Democrats immediately called on him to recuse himself from oversight of the Mueller probe, which ain't happening. That was Chris Cillizza's
You gotta okay.
Totes profesh.
Trump is such a troll. Everybody knows he wanted Sessions out for a while, but to do it right now, this was a troll. Because there's nothing the Democrats can do about it.
Yeah.
They not only kept the Republicans not only kept the Senate, they actually picked up a few seats, and they're going to be the ones who vote on Sessions' replacement. There's literally this is just him trolling. Jesus, Donald, let them enjoy their House win for a day. Come on.
Let's see. Trump got rid of Sessions because he could never forgive the former Alabama senator for recusing himself in the Russia probe, a recusal that placed Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein in charge of the investigation and, in Trump's mind, led to the Mueller appointment. Chris Cillizza can read Trump's mind now, I guess.
Yes.
And Trump could have Trump could have simply promoted Rosenstein to Sessions' job, but passed over him for Whitaker. That Rosenstein has repeatedly expressed his support for Sessions, Mueller, and the special counsel probe is not a coincidence in his being passed over for the job. Now, it might also be the fact that Rosenstein was cited by others as having said disparaging things about the administration and Trump.
Indeed.
I mean, that might have something to do with it, Chris, aside from anything else he might have said about Sessions or Mueller in the past. he can't trust Rosenstein. That might be it.
Real quick, Snubber, thank you. The elections got them thinking they have the upper hand with his tax returns. And Russia, in other news, Tara Strong has gone full Misha Collins. I don't know who Misha is, but I know who Tara is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I say this is a troll, because you do have the people out there calling for like impeachment and stuff. And this is just a reminder that you guys can't touch me.
Chris. Okay,
What
What do you
happened?
say next?
I'm gonna read this sentence.
As it is written?
I'm going to read it as it's written, but it's not so much as it's written. But you tell me, the way I read these words, what the punctuation should be to this sentence.
Okay. I got this. I'm ready.
Don't believe me on Trump's intentions as it relates to the Russia probe.
Quote, question mark.
Period.
Oh, so he's telling us not to
He's telling us not to believe him. Chris.
Oh.
Chris, you're being honest for once, I think. Maybe don't believe me on Trump's intentions as it relates to the Russia probe, period. Believe Trump himself, period. Here's what he said about the probe and his role in it during a press conference Wednesday. Quote, I stay away from it. But you know what I do? I let it just go on. They're wasting a lot of money, but I let it go on because I don't want to do that. But you're right. I could end it right now. I could say that investigation is over, unquote. Okay, this is Chris talking. Ahem, period. Cough, period. Ominous, no. Here's the question mark. Especially when you consider that, according to the reporting, Trump News Sessions was already out when he held the press conference. So Trump has referred to the Mueller probe as a witch hunt and a hoax more than 160 times since it began last spring. He has said it is a waste of money and sought to discredit not only Mueller, but the investigators he has hired to work for the special counsel's office.
Well, that's because it is. Like, is it not?
And he got rid of a guy who supported the probe, passed over another guy who also approved of the probe, and chose as acting attorney general a guy who has said all sorts of negative things about the probe. The point, all the lights are blinking red. All of them, capital letters. What the fuck, Chris? Okay.
So essentially, he's pointing out that Trump is stamping out something that he's been stating is a waste of time from the very beginning. And this is supposed to be like a discovery?
And to this point, he's done nothing to try to stop it in 2 years.
Yeah. I don't get it.
Real quick, thank you, Snubber. Tucker Carlson being Frankenstein mobbed at the moment. What does that mean?
People coming out with torches and pitchforks? I don't understand.
Oh, good. Okay.
Like is he at dinner or something and they just mobbed him?
Is Tucker enjoying this too much and people are mad?
I only have two other sort of minor-ish stories. They're just fallout from the election yesterday, and I would classify these under sore losers.
Wait, is that true? Antifa's outside of Tucker's house?
Seriously? Okay, let's pause for a moment and see if there's anything about that. Red alert! Tucker Carlson's home under siege by Antifa mob. This is from InfoWars, so you know.
Well,
let's see. There's a video. Let's see. Cassandra Fairbanks has tweeted out a video breaking Antifa mob currently outside home of Tucker Carlson. The Gateway Pundit has the story.
Oh, there's video.
Yeah, there's video.
Yeah, there's video of it.
What the fuck is wrong with you people?
What are they doing?
Tucker.
Okay, they surrounded his house. They're all being quiet. They're holding up signs. They're like sneaking. And now they get out a bullhorn and start making noises and yelling.
Telling him we know where you sleep at night.
Oh, for God's sakes. Arrest those guys, seriously.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, I don't even care if you're being quiet and quote unquote polite. When you're surrounding somebody's house, like, that's not even a peaceful protest. Like,
no, it's intimidation.
At night, dressed in black.
Yeah, no. I really hope there's not a person who tries to at anybody like, but it's a peace. No, you're surrounding somebody's house. Stop it.
You know the weird part about this? Isn't he like on the air right now? Or still at work?
Well, I don't think he does his stuff live.
Oh, okay.
Or he might do some shows live, some not.
It's still, this is not cool. I was just wondering how dumb they are. Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ.
Well,
I didn't mean to sidetrack just when I saw
no.
that.
Are there any children at the house? Yeah, he has kids.
yeah, he's got at least 2, I think.
Yeah, he's got kids.
So anyway, these are short because there's not much more to say than the headlines. But in the Georgia governor's race, Brian Kemp has declared victory, but Stacey Abrams hasn't conceded.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I know you don't, but
I'm so like I'm high key stressed about this.
well, so presently with now the votes have still been coming in today, even though the official thing is that 100% of the precincts are reporting. I've watched as the votes totals have gone up on either side all day, but right now Brian Kemp is at 50.3%. Stacey Abrams is at 48.7%, and a Libertarian candidate holds 0.9%. Now, Kemp has 1,973,099 votes, while Abrams has 1,910,390 votes. So only a 63,000 vote thereabouts difference between the two. Now, that is far beyond the threshold of what would trigger an automatic recount.
Right.
If that number remains steady, because like I say, it's been going up all day as more like absentee ballots and mail-in ballots have been registered and counted. But Abrams all day has not conceded and is just waiting for like all the other votes to be counted, which, you know, that's completely legit and her right. But at this stage of the game, this late in the process, I think it's done. I think you should just call it. But
she's not going to.
Well, it'll at some point or another, it'll become undeniable. So.
Well, the problem is that because he doesn't have a solid 51%, she doesn't have to concede.
Is it a 1% margin that for a recount?
No, you have to have a 51% majority. You have to have a majority, which is 51%.
It's 50.000000001.
Is it?
Well, a majority is 50 plus 1 vote.
Well, I thought that I thought that it was like a whole 51%.
No.
Is what they counted it as.
And it depends on the state, because we read yesterday that in Florida, what was it? Florida has a 1%.
0.5%.
0.5%. Yeah. So your state may be different. She never has to concede. That don't mean government doesn't go on.
Yeah.
In similar news, in Florida, Bill Nelson is demanding a recount. Florida Democrat Senator Bill Nelson called Wednesday for a recount in his race for re-election against Republican Governor Rick Scott. In a statement from Nelson's office, the longtime incumbent said Scott had prematurely declared victory in the race, which CNN has not yet called. In Florida, an automatic recount is triggered when the final margin is less than 0.5% and is not triggered by candidate requests. Votes were still being counted Wednesday morning, but Scott's lead was within that margin, according to CNN projections. The initial vote count won't be finalized until Saturday at noon. A spokesman for Scott chided Nelson over the request, quote, "This race is over. It's a sad way for Bill Nelson to end his career."
Yeah, if it's not the automatic recount, you get to pay for it, buddy.
Yep.
And you're still going to lose.
Yeah, so that's those. There's a lot of, you know, post-election fallout stuff. I'm sure in MSS News we'll have some more stuff, but those are the two that stood out to me, especially the governor's race. I was just kind of like, because it was like I was watching the totals off and on over the course of the day. I was just like, God, they're only like 50,000 votes apart, and then it became 40, then it went back to 60. It was just like, I don't even know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's rare though for even like with write-ins for it to come back and actually change something that big.
Yeah.
So yeah, let the process play out. That's fine, but a couple of people need to prepare themselves for losing, because you're losing, guys. You lost. And that was it for stories. Unless somebody else has one, that was your last one, right, Scribe? If I counted correctly.
Yes.
Satsu, SDA, any stories you wanted to talk about?
No.
Nope.
What does that? Oh, you got a Poisoning the Well shirt on there.
Oh yeah, I do have my Poison in the Well shirt on.
And I really
comfy.
didn't do that so she would push her boobs at us, guys. I just noticed it was a.
Sorry.
Oh, that was fine. That works out for everybody. Guys, we're going to move on to MSS News. If there's a story you'd like us to take a look at, we will do our best if you send it to hashtag MSS News over on the Twitter machine. We can't get it to them all, but that's just because you guys are amazing and send too damn many. Scribbles. Scribbles. Well, that's a weird time for Scribbles.
You guys cut out on me. What happened?
I just announced MSS News and said Scribbles, and there was nothing.
Yeah, because suddenly I suddenly got everything went quiet. You guys got cut off from me because my internet is being silly for some reason.
Well, welcome back.
So I'm glad I didn't say anything because I probably would have roboted out into the distance again. Okay, let's see. I really don't want to read that one. That's not a happy story. Not that all the stories have to be happy, but that's gross. So I'm going to stay away from that one. This one comes from Frosted Glass, and it's tagged just for me after a fashion, along with the hashtag. Slate.com tells us it's time to recenter kink and BDSM as part of radical queer history.
Before you read this, can I just say I saw the guy in jeans with a bandana hanging out, and my first thought was, that's a cowboy. He should be riding a horse in Red Dead 2.
Cooter.
Okay. This piece is part of the Radical Issue, a special package from Outward, Slate's home for coverage of LGBTQ life, thought, and culture. Okay. When we celebrate queer history, what do you mean we? But okay, we're usually thinking about the elders who came before us and the sacrifices that they made to ensure that future generations wouldn't have to go through the same hardships that they did. By remembering their radical calls for acceptance and civil rights, we're really thinking about action-oriented activism. Action-oriented activism.
Of course.
It seems a little redundant, but that's just me. But in doing so, we leave out the importance of the practice of kink and BDSM, which are radical acts in their own right. Have you ever heard of the Marquis de Sade, by any chance? I mean, not that he was a great guy or anything, but BDSM and kink have been around forever. It has nothing explicitly to do with what your orientation is. You can't recenter kink and BDSM because it's never belonged to one sexual orientation as a practice or as a, whatever, as an activity. So
can we point out the fact that considering they're trying to take the stigma away from being, gay or LGBT or whatever, the fact that they're trying to point out the fact that they are linked to something that is inherently stigmatized. Isn't that weird where they're just we want to get rid of the stigma and teach everybody that this is normal, but we need not to forget that we're directly linked to the stigma behind this entire concept. And it's
Sassy, I think it's important for us to remember that the LGBTQIA LMNOP plus activists are bad at activism.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to read. So I skipped down a bit. Now, some of this, if read by itself, is not wrong, but I'm not sure where it goes here. Okay. Kink has been somewhat mainstreamed in recent years by films, books, and popular media, ahem, 50 Shades, that speak to only one part of what it means to be in the lifestyle. What part is that? They don't say. Okay. But what exactly makes kink radical? There's a taboo around discussing sex and sex. Well, because of our very conservative origins as a country, a very puritanical history as a country. That's what makes it taboo. That's what makes it radical, quote unquote, or divergent from the norm for most people. That's what it is. There's a taboo around discussing sex and sexuality in our culture still, and it is especially seen as taboo for queer people who have been ostracized and outcast for not falling into heteronormative expectations of how we should love and form relationships. So wait, because kink and BDSM is a fringe discussion topic of sexuality, and homosexuality is a fringe or has been a fringe discussion topic of sexuality in the past. Therefore, these two things are inexorably entwined with one another.
Yeah, which is the point that I was trying to make. Like, why would you try to convince people of that fact when you are trying to destigmatize something? Like, doesn't that not make sense?
There's a lot of things that are taboo about sexuality that most people don't talk about on a regular basis, like furries. I mean, by the same logic, then furries and queer culture are inexorably tied together. Is that where you're going with this too? No,
Don't give them the idea.
Well,
They'll do it.
Anyway.
Yeah, by this logic, literally anything that is stigmatized can be tied to LGBT people. Like, fucking just blatantly and carelessly farting in public is now a LGBT struggle because it's something that people usually don't do or engage in.
This one comes from Airline Pamphlet. That's the Twitter handle I'm given here. But okay, if it'll open up. The Girl Scouts just sued the Boy Scouts over use of the term scout.
What?
Okay.
I'm really glad we're that in sync, Sassy.
America's gender divide is leaving no generation on the sidelines. A year after the Boy Scouts of America announced it would admit girls, much, contradicting their very name, the Girl Scouts of the United States of America punched back Tuesday with a federal trademark lawsuit seeking to block the boys group from rebranding itself as simply Scouts.
What?
What?
Why? What?
So they want to change their name to the Scouts of America. Is that it?
Yeah. They talked about that when they first let the girls in. They were dropping the boys because it's not the Boy Scouts.
Okay, so the Girl Scouts, called GSUSA in the filing, claim the move by the Boy Scouts will, quote, marginalize, unquote, the female organization and, quote, erode its core brand identity, unquote. The Boy Scouts announced in May that it was changing its name to Scouts BSA with members known as Scouts. Quote, since BSA's announcement that it would admit girls to its core programs, GSUSA's fears about the damage that would be caused to its trademarks and the mission those trademarks symbolize have been realized, according to the complaint filed Tuesday in Manhattan Federal Court. Quote, throughout the country, families, schools, and communities have been told that GSUSA and BSA have merged, or even that GSUSA no longer exists.
Nobody said that.
I've never heard anybody say that, and unless you can prove that the Scouts of America were the ones actually saying it, you've got no case.
Yeah, I've never even heard that idea at all since this whole thing got brought up.
I will say that I always thought that there was some, in the background connection between the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts, that they were like sort of, I don't know, part of the same family of organizations or something. I didn't know that they were completely separate entities until I think probably just this article. Oh my God. You can't call yourselves Scouts because Boy Scouts was fine. Scouts is bad.
I have to use text or speech to text real fast.
Okay.
Good night, sweetie. I love you. Sweet dreams. What?
You gay.
I didn't say anything.
No, somebody was over there gagging.
Oh, wasn't me. Let's see. A lot of people have sent us the Jim Acosta story. Thank you, Frosted Glass. Thank you, Moonshock. Okay, this one comes from Shady Grin. Oh, for fuck's sake, really? Okay, this is Marie Claire. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because silence now, I can't tell if I've been cut off. Marie Claire tells us, or this is an opinion piece by Rachel Packer, why Trump's America makes me regret adopting my daughters.
Before you read that, thank you, Alice Morgan. Girl Scouts are lame compared to the Girl Scouts.
I
see what you did there.
So Trump's America makes me regret adopting my daughters. Okay.
Imagine being that person's child.
I know. I was about to say.
Oh, no.
I was about to say, because of who's president.
That's almost as bad as being like, the kid of somebody who's, then gets an abortion.
Oh, God.
Like, no more of these.
Listen to this. Okay. Our daughters came home from China more than a decade ago. The first time their tiny feet touched American soil, we made a big deal of it. We were so happy about everything they'd inherit as newly minted Americans, our already head over heels love for them, every opportunity we could afford, and freedom from China's oppressive government and its controversial, and now somewhat lifted, one-child policy. The same policy that was, most likely, the very reason they were available to join our family half a world away. But now I worry that we made a tragic mistake. I pulled those two beautiful babies away from a rising power and into a damaged democracy. I brought two girls of color into a society where it's clear that their word and their bodies are worth less than a man's.
Oh.
And where open, overt racism has become even more likely now than it was a decade ago. Sorry, how did you describe your own kids? Girls of color? You tell me about racism, lady.
Especially if her little Chinese kids want to go to Harvard.
So you're telling me, ma'am, that the color of your children's skin and the genitals they have are inherent detriments. You're telling us this. Okay.
Real quick, 3-sided coin. Thank you. I have rebranded my YouTube show. Lords Come At Me. Or Lords Come At Me. Well, we're with the Lords of the Night. You can be Lords. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, if you're not Lords of something, then you're really Lords of nothing, aren't you?
You're Lord of Nothing. Good job.
Now, if you crown yourself King Nothing, you might be a Metallica song. And unfortunately, my worries aren't exactly tinfoil hat wearing paranoia.
No, they are. Okay, I'm sorry, but like, if you think that your child would be better off in China, to the point where you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't adopted my kid, and honestly, like, your kids are one day going to be able to read.
Oh my God. Okay, you know how in some sorry, go ahead.
Oh my God. If this story doesn't end and so we're decided to move to China to give them a better life than they would get here, I'm gonna be upset.
Okay, I was going to read the little insert thing, but I don't want to give it away. We'll get there. Okay. 2 years ago, I brought my daughters to the voting booth with me, expecting that they'd witness the election of the very first woman president. Instead, we got a guy with multiple sexual allegations made against him who backs candidates for the highest posts in the land who also have assault and molestation claims against them. Claims is the operative word there. Hashtag Me Too may have brought the conversation about sexual assault out into the open and helped clear the entertainment industry of some of the worst offenders, but the current administration seems far more willing to promote than prosecute the accused. Now here's where the fun part comes in. Trump promised during his campaign that he would roll back Roe v. Wade. Well, he can't do that, just so you know. And new Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh's conservative judicial record makes it seem like he'd be just the man to help him do it, no matter his protestations that he considers it settled law. Well, Kavanaugh can't do it himself either, just so you know. The idea that my daughters may lose the right to control what happens to their bodies, especially if they end up with a pregnancy that's the result of a sexual assault, or one that could do serious damage to their health, keeps me up at night. Now, here's the kicker. We are thinking of stockpiling, good God, we are thinking of stockpiling Plan B pills just in case my daughter's right to choose what happens to their bodies disappears.
That's not what Plan B does. That's not even what it does.
I'm done with that one.
How much do you plan on your little Chinese daughters to be fucking? Are you opening a brothel?
But that's not even what Plan B does.
Well, here's the thing. But all of those points aside, stockpiling pills is not a good idea. They do have expiration dates.
Yeah, but also that's not what that one does. Like,
okay,
you should be stockpiling the abortion pill, you dumb fuck. Like, I'm just saying, like, if you're going to stockpile a pill that's going to expire anyway, stockpile the right ones. Or stockpile coat hangers. That's what you mean. Sorry.
Satsu.
Does it say that she's opening a brothel?
No, I didn't read any further beyond
that.
It
would work, though, because they're Chinese. I'm sorry. That was awful.
Wow. What have you got in?
She doesn't like her kids anyway, okay? She wants to send them back to China.
What are you vaping right now?
Blue raspberry.
Blue raspberry.
Now, is that code for something?
No?
Let's see. All right. Well, moving on. Froggy sends us this one. Another in a long line of bad ideas. Man dies after injecting silicone into his genitals.
Yeah, no shit.
Mom blames sex cult master.
What?
I don't know. Well, here's the dangers of kink, I guess. A Washington kink enthusiast. Kink? I haven't heard how injecting silicone into your dick is a kink. But anyway, died last month after silicone injections in his genitals led to fatal bleeding. But his mom believes a gay sex cult is to blame. Okay. Jack Chapman, a 28-year-old Australian living in Seattle, all right, died from, quote, silicone embolism syndrome, unquote, resulting in hemorrhaging in the lungs. Chapman, who went by Tank Heathcliff Haffertapen, okay, and Pup Tank.
Jesus.
What? Okay, was an active member of San Francisco and later Seattle's gay BDSM community. Oh, gay BDSM. Those two things are forever intertwined, I guess.
Well, I mean, look, Scribe,
I guess here we go.
this is how it works now.
Chapman
and
served
it kills people.
Oh, I see. Chapman served as one of several slaves to Master Dylan Haffertapen, known as the nickname Noodles and Beef. Okay, guys, I really want to say that this story is not reflective of everyone who might be interested in BDSM. Just saying.
What? No, are you sure? No, I think
I know. I'm absolutely sure. This is
so. It's all like 50 Shades of Grey, then.
Oh my God. Haffertapen, if I'm saying that correctly, who has thousands of followers on social media, never heard of him, but whatever, is known for posting salacious photos with his slaves, whom he calls his pups.
Okay, I wanna look him up. What is it? How do you spell it?
So it's Dylan, Dylan.
Dylan.
And the last name is Haf, as in Frank.
Haf.
ERT.
ERT.
EPEN.
Oh, Google autofilled it.
Real quick,
Okay.
while she's doing that. Nope, thank you. I'm late. Why isn't it 1,000,000% more boobs? Does Monkey have something to admit to the group? Well, all humans have breasts.
Chapman's
Oh my God, he's like a weird Viking dude. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, Jack Chapman is this red-bearded guy who's like super duper muscly. But I don't know how much of that might be silicone injections, of course. Chapman's mother, Linda, is blaming Haffertapen for turning her son on to the dangerous body modification that resulted in his death. She likened her son's relationship with his master to a cult. Quote, it was devotion. It was like some sort of clan, family, like a cult. And to prove their devotion to him, they had to change their bodies, Linda said on the Australian talk show The Project. He was not the Jack that I sent over there. He had no self-esteem. He'd lost himself in this cult. This was a disturbed boy, she added. Linda detailed a contract her son signed with Haffertapen, which promised his master total control over his mind and body. She said her son was required to take Haffertapen's last name, give him his salary, wear a chain around his neck, and cut off contact with anyone outside his BDSM circle. Yeah, that's a cult.
Well, yeah, that's a cult.
Okay,
We
this
talked
goes on
about
for a while.
cults tonight on TGOS.
I'm trying to see if any criminal charges are being sought. Doesn't look like it. Let's see. The Seattle Police Department and King County Medical Examiner's Office have reviewed the medical file related to his death, as well as concerns from the community. There is no criminal investigation at this time. Yeah, because if it was self-inflicted, that's tough to, yeah. Okay.
Once again, men, don't stick stuff in your genitals.
Yeah, really, just don't. Excuse me. I don't lose my voice. This one comes from senior staff reporter Jack the motherfucking Cockring. Video, Florida man leaps into crocodile exhibit and gets attacked. Surprise, surprise, surprise. St. Augustine, Florida. A man took a dangerous dive on Tuesday. He was captured on surveillance video jumping into a pond filled with crocodiles. It all happened at the St. Augustine Animal Farm. Surveillance cameras captured the moment where he was attacked by a crocodile. He was in the enclosure for hours. When staffers showed up to the park Tuesday morning, they found a pair of shorts and Crocs, the kind you wear on your feet. They assumed it was part of a prank until they spotted blood and called police. Park security used hours of surveillance video to piece together what happened over the time the man spent in the Nile crocodile exhibit. It captures the moment he was attacked by one of the 12-foot alligators. You can see the animal thrashing around, biting his foot. Later, you can see the man writhing in pain and trying to make a daring escape by straddling a fence. Jeff Black, I don't know who that is, found the suspect, Brandon Hatfield, on Tuesday morning wandering around his home. Quote, as soon as we encountered the guy, we knew something was strange was going on, he said. All right. Hatfield limped to an ambulance once police showed up. Black said neighbors assumed the man was on drugs or alcohol. He is charged with burglary, criminal mischief with more than $5,000 in damage, and violation of probation. None of the crocodiles were injured as a result of the incident.
Well, I'm glad the crocodiles are okay.
Yeah, I assume he must have been on something when he jumped in. If he wasn't, then really lock that guy up.
He was a Florida guy. He was probably trying to have sex with it.
Oh, you're kidding. Okay, this one comes from Boatman99. Of course, it's the UK, isn't it? Yes. Elderly woman questioned by police as hate criminal after, quote, beeping her car horn at a black driver.
Oh, yeah. I know this story.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, where is this?
This
England.
is the UK. An elderly woman had to be questioned as a hate criminal, after beeping her car horn at a black driver due to existing rules, a police commissioner said.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Hate crime regulations forced police to quiz the pensioner under caution because the other driver reported it as one. Oh.
Uh-huh.
The other driver was, quote, talking ages, unquote. I guess taking ages? Oh, taking ages. Sorry, this is me trying to understand UK slang and stuff. Irate bear, what the hell's wrong with you people? The other driver was taking ages at a petrol station, meaning it was taking too long. So the woman in her 70s beeped her horn to get her to move. Mr. Stansfield described the woman as a pillar of society and called for a review of current rules after the woman had to be questioned on suspicion of a hate crime. Yeah, you think? He told the Sunday Times that current laws mean detectives have to investigate anything that is perceived to be a hate crime, which could result in, quote, huge injustices. You think putting the burden of proof of a crime onto the person who claims to be inflicted upon might be a problem? Yeah. Anyway.
What the fuck?
I don't know if that story goes into it, but the police officer who had to investigate this, he was not happy about having to do it.
No, that's what the guy was saying. He's like, it should be reviewed. That's so silly.
Yeah, I read this story. I think it was last week, and it's absolutely asinine. It is. But if the police don't think they should be investigating, I feel like that should be their discretion.
It's not, though, unfortunately.
That's fucking retarded.
I mean, because honestly, like, how deep into that investigation do you have to go? Some guy beeped his horn. Okay, bye. Investigated. Done.
No, hate crime.
Imagine having that much power, man.
I know, right?
We're just like, no matter what happens, if anybody that is not the same color as me does anything that I find even remotely transgressional, hate crime.
I think I'm gonna have to take a break, Monkey. I'm gonna rest my voice.
You puss. You puss.
Sorry. What?
You know how much I talk in a week?
That is your choice, dude.
I'm just saying that my voice can handle it.
Oh,
Monkey,
well,
just because
I'm sorry.
Just because you've been training your throat muscles.
Midnight in Exile has a point, Sassy. You have that power. You could go to England and do things.
I do have that power, but I choose not to wield it.
How does that make you feel, Satsu? Does that make you feel
power
powerful?
Of Negro.
No, it doesn't.
We have an update to a story, and this is going to be our last MSS news for the night. British resort offers to host woman's wedding to a ghost.
Oh, that's right.
We read.
I don't
this
see why
story.
not. Bitch, give us your money to fucking marry an inanimate
Yeah.
thing that doesn't exist.
We read this
Hell yeah.
last week, was it? This British
It's been
chick
a while. It's been a while, but yeah, we have read it before.
got engaged to a ghost she met in Australia. Last week, Amethyst Realms of Bristol announced that the unnamed ghost proposed to her. But remember, guys, he didn't get down on one knee because he doesn't have knees. But yeah, there's been a resort that is offered to host the nuptials.
I mean, hey,
And yes,
if
go
she
ahead.
gonna pay for it, like, why not?
Yeah, no shit. Hey, come on in. We'll
If
set it up
that's your hustle, like, I would do it. I'd be like, you wanna pay for this? And she's like, of course. I'd be like, bring it on over. I don't give a shit.
Cool.
By the way, Amethyst here also wants to get pregnant with a ghost baby. I think she's been playing The Sims too much. But yeah, fucking people. Anyhow,
Can I have like 4 ghost kids during tax time?
Yes, you may. Oh, I wonder if you can claim them.
Yeah.
Oh God, guys, thank you for the submissions to hashtag MSS News. We can't tell you how much we appreciate those, but we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on a little bit. And Satsu, what'd you do on the YouTubes today?
I didn't do anything today because after I got up, well, actually, wasn't I on your stream this morning?
Yes, you were.
These days are
short
fusing
memories.
together, dude. That's weird. Okay, so yeah, I was on Monkey stream, and then I fell asleep like soon after, and I woke up to cook dinner. So that's my day.
STA, what have you been doing?
I've been really, really busy. So I was on your stream this morning. I did TGOS with Weibo before I came on here, which is the show I do with her on Sundays and Wednesdays at 7:30. It goes from 7:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. I made a video the other day about something. What was it about? Oh, it was about the St. Jude's thing. I'm gonna make a video about how mad people are at white women right now. That will probably go up on Saturday, honestly, because I've got a lot of stuff going on. But I've also got another book coming out on November 24th. So,
Nice.
SDA has been busy.
I've been busy as well. I did a stream. By the way, Satsu, you also did a stream last night. You played Red Dead. And
Oh yeah, that happened.
I'm saying Dick Toothbrush to you. I don't know why.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah. Let's see. We're streaming tonight, guys. After this, we'll be playing 7 Days to Die on the open server with fans. If you guys have the game on PC, you can join us. Just go to our Discords. The explanations for how to join are there. Speaking of that, you need to change some of your pinned tweets pinned messages in Discord, Satsu, because we have competing instructions on how to get into that Discord or into the server.
Also, Monkey
Yes,
Dick,
ma'am.
Jim Jones movies.
Nah, bruh.
Again?
No,
Nah, you don't get to do that this late. We done already did that. It's too late.
when'd y'all do it?
When you were here listening?
Right before we started the news.
Really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How did I miss that?
Because you're high as a kite?
I'm not
'Cause
high.
Oh, okay.
You're a woman and you don't listen.
Okay,
Yeah, there's that too.
that's fair.
Are we still giving away a copy tonight?
Yes, we are giving away a copy of 7 Days to Die tonight on the stream. So if you want to come by and have a chance to win or just want to listen to the silly shit we say, it's always a fun time on the 7 Days to Die.
It's a
open
fun
so-
stream. You guys should go watch it.
I was also on my own stream this morning. I did an election stream last night, and yeah, damn, I stream a lot, y'all. I want to bitch about something because somebody just brought up Red Dead and Satsu played last night, so it's kind of related, and I'm letting Scribe's voice rest for a minute. On Red Dead, guys, I wanted to name my horse Cooter. Now, I'm not going to lie. I was going to name it Cooter as a reference for pussy, not cat, vagina. And it came up and told me I couldn't do that because it was profane. And so I tried another one. I want to say it was Gash. I can't remember what the other one I tried was. But again, it came up and told me that's profane. I'm like, all right. So I named it Taco. I jump on Taco and I ride to this next mission place I got. And the guy there talking to me keeps dropping F-bombs like he's me.
Yeah.
But I can't name my horse Cooter because it's profane. I'm highly offended by this, and I think we need a patch to fix this bullshit. Stunlock says, I'm telling you though, Pooter Moose, I get that, but I wanted Cooter. That's I want a horse named Cooter that I can ride around on. I'm sorry. Scribe, I know you put out a video today. Would you like to talk about it?
I did. So this was a fun video in the sense that I didn't sit through 15 minutes of TEDx or anything like that. But the other day, I just sort of, as I usually do, I'll put in random key phrases or keywords into the Twitter machine, the YouTube machine, and tell it, just show me what has been posted today under this heading, so I can get something that's brand new, haven't seen before, fresh. And the other day, I put in social justice education because I haven't done a curriculum of fear in a while, and I was looking for something under that heading. And I found this video that said dehumanizing language. And I thought, is this saying it's going to be taking language and making it not human? Or are you talking about language that is dehumanizing? I wasn't sure because you never know with these things. So I started it, and it starts out with somebody giving you the overview of like, well, you know, calling people names and things is bad and harmful and dangerous and stuff. And here to tell us more about how we should think about this is this old professor lady. And then she starts talking. And good God, I don't know where it's going from that point onward. And I listened for another like 5 or 6 minutes, and I'm like, I'm done. Especially when she gets to her favorite euphemism. I won't give away what her favorite euphemism is. And I still, to this moment, have no idea how it relates to the subject because practically nothing that she talked about related to the subject, except in the most abstract terms. Yeah, that was that. And there's 2 hidden cameos by YouTube stars Bloodwing and Ranting Monkey in there as well.
I like that you called me a YouTube star instead of random guy a couple of people have heard of. I appreciate that.
Well, Monkey, in my universe, you are my guiding star.
Oh, I appreciate it. You're a sweetheart.
And that is also a sideways reference to subject matter in the video where astrophysics and name calling are the same thing, yo.
Oh my God, that part.
That was amazing. As soon as she started talking about the collision of stars, I was like, what? And I knew it was going to be something special. So anyway, yeah, that's up now. And so yeah, I invite everybody to take a look. And if you like it, share it, comment, etc.
Listening to her, there were so many times I was like, what? And I'd have to go back and listen to it again. Honestly, in full, I probably watched your video 3 times, even though I only watched it once, just trying to understand what the fuck she was saying.
Oh yeah, I had to watch it like 4 or 5 times because I was editing the thing.
And man, guys, you should watch it. 1, it's a Scribe video, so you should watch anyway. But 2, holy shit.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do the whole thing. It was 20 minutes long. I didn't know where it was going to go from there. Maybe they got back around to the subject, but even so, the subject as it is ridiculous. It's like name calling is like the same thing as violence, guys. And we've got, I can't tell you how many videos I've done on that and microaggressions and all that. So there was no new territory to cover. I was just so blown away by this lady's stream of consciousness that I had to say something.
I just want to point, I'm going to ruin just a tiny part for you guys. There's a part where she's talking about how she finds it weird that we use things like the term violent explosion for what happens on the sun.
Yeah.
But we can't use violent, words should be violence. I'm like,
well, that's because sunlight is a life giver, Monkey.
It is.
Not a violent, destructive thing.
Did you catch my comment on your video?
Yeah. Oh man, it's
anyway. Send that bitch to the sun. See how life-giving it is.
Anyway, guys, so there's that. It was just it was a diversion video for me in the sense that I wasn't doing some long intellectual TEDx talk type deal or something because I needed a little bit of break from that kind of deal. But rest assured, I have other things queued up that will fall back into my common habits here pretty soon.
Seal will discuss that in just a second because it is internet fucketry time. I almost said YouTube fuckery because this is specifically YouTube, but there was a guy who got his channel. He got a strike on his channel. Was it actually deleted?
It was, well, the channel was temporarily terminated.
Oh, okay.
Whatever that means.
He did a Red Dead video, and on what was the name of the video? Feeding feminists to alligators.
Yeah.
And he did it in Red Dead, and they slapped him for encouraging violence.
Isn't the whole game, like, just playing that game in general is literally that? So
That is so stupid.
He's got his channel back now, but it was terminated for the better part of today.
Here's the thing. Be careful with your clickbait. I get what you're doing there, and I have no problem with it. But there's a lot of people out there who, the dude had 500,000 subs and used a title like that. Yeah, you're going to piss them off. And now you're on their radar, so you better be very careful what you're doing. I'm with you. I have no problem with your video. I have no problem with your title. But there are people out there who are so overly offended by fucking everything. And you put feminists and feeding them to or crocodiles or alligators, whichever. Yeah, you should have said killing bitches, because then it wouldn't have been a problem.
Well, the one I saw was a guy found the feminist hogtied her and threw her down a bottomless pit in a cave, which was funny.
Oh yeah, people are doing all kinds of things, but the thing about this, we've seen so many of these already, and not channels being deleted, but people whining about how mean you can be to women in this.
Yeah.
Do you know how many dudes I've shot in the? I shot one dude in the asshole. That's honest to God. There's a mission. One of the first missions, you rob a train and you get the chance to let some of the people on the train go. And I was going to do that, and I accidentally fired my gun. So he starts crawling away from me. I'm like, well, now I got to kill him, motherfucker. So I shot him up the ass as he's crawling away from me. Nobody complains about that because I killed a dude.
Here's the thing. If they didn't give a shit, nobody would actually nobody would actually record themselves like hog tying women in these games. Nobody would care. Nobody would do it because they don't actually care about doing it. They just care about ruffling your feathers.
Well, it's how you're encouraging violence against the women's.
No, they just want to piss you off because you're easily pissed off.
Well, if the issue here is encouraging violence, full stop. Like, that's the problem. You're encouraging violence against people in general. We don't like the encouragement of violence. Then why hasn't you get to kill KKK members in this game? Why isn't that taken down?
Well, that's good violence.
That's encouraging violence. You were highlighting the fact that you were killing these specific group of people. Yes, they may be bad, but it's still a specific group of people.
Look, I don't think the guy should have lost his channel or even gotten a strike over this, but you do be careful with that clickbait, man, because once you get on their radar, look at Sinatra, man. Every time he fucking gets a channel back, it gets struck immediately. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just, if your channel means that much, be careful with how you do those titles, because I guarantee you, no fucking feminist was actually looking around going, I want to watch Red Dead videos and found this. Somebody searched feminism. Went, oh, he wants to kill us. I hate people. I fucking hate people.
So I want to petition for Anita Sarkeesian's videos to be taken down because she actively went in the game specifically to kill prostitutes and throw them in boxes.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Because how dare you be able to do that in a video game? Satsu, rough estimate, how many men have you killed in video games?
Oh boy. I think I have killed a small country by now.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
Same. Honestly.
Genocides. Yeah. So
yeah.
But nobody cares. As long
male
as
genocide. But the number of women I've killed in the video game, I don't know actually. Not that many.
The only time I specifically target women in video games, and this is probably wrong and going to get me suspended or something, is whores in GTA. I don't know why. I like killing hookers in GTA. I will.
Monkey wants to get his money.
I stroll right up on him, pull my gun out, and shoot him right in the face.
You should watch Squishy play. She don't discriminate. She puts on director's mode and picks the most transgender person she can find and just starts killing everything.
I can't count how many people, because I played Star Wars: The Old Republic for about a year and a half, 2 years. And if you want to talk about how many bad guys of different genders and species that I murdered over the course of playing that game and all the 8 different classes and everything, yeah, it's unknowable.
Yep. But make a joke at feminist expense in this game, and suddenly you're gonna lose your fucking channel.
I
YouTube,
mean,
get your shit together. Seriously.
Spoiler alert: none of it's real.
Hey, now SDA. It's all real. Thank you. Nope. Last money before monkey gets banned. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know when to keep my mouth shut. Speaking of which, anybody else have other fucketry? Because I have a few today.
I was talking to this dude today about voting, and because once again the activists are sounding off against any black person that has the audacity to say that they either don't want to vote or won't vote the way that they want them to.
Oh, yeah.
And the one dude said he takes people not voting like he handles those conversations the same way he handles conversations about smoking, because he's against people smoking cigarettes too. And he was like, you may say it's your choice and it's something that you want to do, but the bottom line is you're making a bad decision that could ultimately affect other people.
We'll get back to one of those. I have an example of that later.
Yeah. And essentially, regardless of if you know anything about it, and if you don't know anything about it, you need to educate yourself on voting, regardless of if you care or not, because you need to vote.
Not voting is a vote. If you do it, if you know what's going on and you're just like, no, I don't care about any that is still a vote. People don't like to hear that, though.
Well, apparently it's not. But I did ask, to be fair, I did ask him, like, well, what if they do go do research and their voting leads them to vote against whatever your interests are? And to be fair, he said, well, that's their choice. I just don't want people to not have a voice. And I'm like, all right, I mean, I can understand that standpoint. From a position of somebody who truly believes that the people that they are voting for are going to actually make a difference and change things, sure. Maybe you should vote if that's something you actually care about. But I don't believe that. So as a person who doesn't, why am I obligated to do so? But he basically just said, there's always that corner of minorities who won't do what the fuck I tell them to do, essentially. Well, say that.
What color was this guy?
He was black, of course.
Okay. No. If he's black, at least that's a little better to me, because I have another example of something. I got so much fucketry. Scribbles, did you have some?
I don't have any fucketry, but I got a minor deep topic question when the time comes around.
Okay, cool. SDA, any fucketry on the internet today?
Nope.
I have a couple. Colton Winters tweeted out today, at the end of the day, this is actually last night, always remember that friendship is always more important than politics. And yes, he did use always twice. Mm-hmm. And it's a picture of him and his friend, and I'm not sure which one is him, but one of them is wearing a MAGA shirt. The other one is wearing a Beto shirt, Beto, beat off shirt. The responses to this thing are fucking retarded. So many people.
Yeah, they are insane.
My favorite one of which comes from Stealth Bunny, who said, how can such a friendship bloom when one wants the other literally dead, sick, and without equal rights? Dead, sick, and without equal rights, in that order. Literally dead, guys. Literally dead.
Literally shaking.
Either I'm assuming they mean the MAGA guy, because they never think that Beto beat off is going to cause people to die. But literally dead. These two guys who are hugging each other, one of them wants the other guy dead.
Well, yeah, obviously. and sick and without
sick.
equal rights after he's dead, as you pointed out this morning.
Well, I mean, Monkey, what color is the MAGA shirt?
What's red?
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, God damn it. You broke the code. We're not supposed to tell people that.
I know, right?
But yeah, I mean, there's people out there who actually believe this bullshit that if you support Trump in any way, you actually want people to die.
I don't know how much they believe it more than they're just fans of the hyperbole.
Literally dead.
Literally.
Well, that's what I said, man. Like, and that was a part of my decision to, like, you know, not get involved or even deal with it or whatever. Because I'm like, people are still people. These politicians are people. Everybody is flawed. And most of the people out here really are really down for their best interest. And the only reason really to invest yourself into forcing people who don't have an opinion to vote, like saying like, well, you still need to, is because you want them to further whatever your, you know, wants and needs are. It's not for them at all. You can give you care less about them. You're just like, just make sure you vote because whatever you do could possibly benefit me. Because if it was just their choice, because they always like to bring up, well, they fought for your right to choose to vote. And I'm like, yeah, my right to choose. And you were literally fighting for you're fighting against my rights to choose what I chose to do and telling me that it's wrong. Is that not the same thing? But it's not the same thing, I guess. What do I know?
Speaking of literally dead, Loretta tweeted out, my 81-year-old grandma has terminal cancer. Hardly weighs 85 pounds and very weak, told me I can't let our president down because she was going to vote. To which
this is fucked. This is so fucked up.
To which this cunt, what's her name? Four Walls is Love, retweeted, I'll trip her goofy ass and her fit trash.
What?
Yeah. Because she doesn't like Donald Trump, she's going to beat up an 85-year-old cancer victim.
Great.
Who's dying, literally dying.
It seems reasonable. No, I think that
honestly,
like, I think that is a perfectly reasonable and measured response. You know, I think, honestly, were I in her position, that is exactly what I would do.
Well, you got to beat up old people who have terminal cancer.
The fuck is wrong with people?
But remember, Donald Trump's the one inciting hate. Apparently, Alyssa Milano will not speak at next year's Women's March.
Oh no!
At the next Women's March, sorry.
Oh no!
Because Linda Sarsour is there and Tamika Mallory, and both of them refused to condemn Louis Farrakhan's anti-Semitism. It was okay when the last one. But this time,
it was okay since this shit started. It's been okay, but now all of a sudden we give a fuck about this thing that we were well aware of.
Yeah, I read a story earlier, and they made it sound like nobody brought up Linda Sarsour and her connections to Islam and her embrace of Farrakhan before the
nobody
last
knew about it.
It was all tons of people were talking about it, and they just ignored it.
Monkey, nobody knew about this.
Yeah.
That shit blew my mind. Like, they're just like, okay, guys, we can take off the blindfold on this issue. Now it's convenient for us to do so. So let's do this. Or maybe it was just an intended thing where, damn it, we didn't think that anti-Semitism was going to actually come up. And now that it's come up, now we got to pretend like we actually give a fuck about Jewish people.
Yeah, they were like, Louis Farrakhan doesn't like Jews? I didn't know.
Oh my god.
Who knew it with his fucking 40 years in the spotlight being anti-Semitic? Who the fuck could have figured it out? But yeah, she's not going to be speaking because that's okay. More time for her to be tweeting and me to be fucking with her on that. Amy Siskind is in the Twitter spotlight tonight again. So much for the little fairy tale I told myself about taking it down a notch for a bit after we got through the midterms. This nightmare will not be over for even a second until this regime is out of power. Bitch, you need to get laid. You need somebody to find the little man in the boat and tickle it until you relax some. And the final one I want to talk about.
So funny.
Ranting Feminist tweeted out today. Hi, guys. And she actually made a poll on this. Hi, guys. Just a question. When I'm speaking to a black person who says something like racism ended 100 years ago, I feel kind of weird explaining the history of America to them, but I feel it's justified. Should I?
Should she feel it's justified, or should she explain it?
Should she explain it to him?
Okay.
Now, one, the fact that she said something like racism ended 100 years ago, I don't believe that's something somebody actually said to her.
Yeah.
I feel that that's a hyperbolic bullshit statement about what they said to her.
Yeah. Chances are what they said was slavery ended, not racism. But
or that different laws had changed since then. There's a whole bunch of things it could have been.
Or probably that racism is absolutely not as prevalent as it once was, or that systemic racism is no longer a thing. Something along those lines. Not that racism doesn't exist. I mean, because who in their right mind would actually say racism's not a thing?
Well, it's funny you bring that up, because this post proves racism is still a thing.
Well,
if you have to ask if you should talk to black people the way you would talk to white people, that's racist.
Do I? Yeah. Well, also, should I calmly explain to black people, and give them a lesson like they're a fucking child? Like
she would not have asked this if she'd been talking to white people. She wouldn't say, should I explain history to a white person?
Yeah, no. But also, she wouldn't feel like she needs to talk down to white people either.
Satsu, correct me if I'm wrong here. Because if you guys didn't know, Satsu is dark-skinned.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa, hold on.
Did you just find this out, Satsu?
Dark-skinned, seriously.
No, it just what I put to her is I was like, well, obviously you know more than those stupid black people. Like, why would you know?
Well, here's my question to you, Satsu. Black people are just people, right?
No, they're black people first and foremost. Monkey.
You're not an alien or something, and we weren't told. You're just a person.
But to them, it's so weird because to them, black people are not just people.
What is it? Help me out
Soft
here.
bigotry of low expectations.
Thank you.
They're not just people. They are literally like this different class of people that you have to be very careful about how you speak to, especially the really stupid ones who don't think that racism is a thing you have to be very conscious of all the time because they don't know. And as a white person, am I allowed to explain it to them? Because I don't know if I should.
So I've kind of seen it as, I don't know how else to put it. It's being elevated by denigration.
Yeah.
It's like this, and it doesn't matter whether you're talking about black people or any of the supposed disabled minorities that we have. They are special because they're damaged. That's the sense I get when I hear things like this.
Well, yeah, because it's kind of like with the Republican women, where they're like, we really need to fix the Republican women because they're only like this because they really want dick.
Here's the thing.
We need to tell them.
If you're ever wondering how you should talk to a black person, like you talk to anybody else, you stupid shits. They're people.
We can't do that, Monkey. They're not people.
They are people. And this is the kind of thing that really bothers me because that was such a racist statement and she had no fucking idea why. To put that out there, like, I'm not sure if I should talk to black people. You talk to white people the same way. I've seen you argue with people, white people, you assume, over the internet about history. Why in the fuck do you need to go on there and go, is it okay if I talk to black people this way? Go fuck yourself. That's fucking racist, and you just don't even fucking know it. Sorry.
It's just, I don't know. Like, I don't think that mentally challenged people, or like, you know, outside of the things that they have, or is any different than anything else. Hey, I would like to explain something to your retarded kid. Is he gonna understand it? This is like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what it is. It's like, because that's kind of, I think that's how she sees it, because she's like, okay, so I found a retarded black person. Is it okay if I explain? Is it okay? It's not listening. Is it okay if I explain to it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. It's not looking. Is it okay if I explain to it what's going on? Like,
Okay, so just to play the devil's advocate for a moment,
Sure.
is she denigrating herself in the sense that I am not in a position where I should try to explain this to a person, like in some kind of backhanded way? She's saying that she's not worthy of the subject matter, just as a conversational point.
That may be how she sees it.
Yeah, I'm talking about from her perspective. From her perspective, maybe she sees herself as not worthy of delving into this subject because she herself's not black, but hearing the opposite, notion that she expects black people to take on it.
I think that I get what you're saying. I do.
Okay.
I don't think it's that she thought I'm not worthy. It's
Okay.
Is it my place to explain to these Negroes?
Well, that's a kind of worthiness, like, is it my place to have to explain this to someone?
Sure,
because
and that's
already know kind of thing.
That's still fucking racist. Like I said, she wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
She wouldn't do it to any other group. And that's the problem. So much racism.
Well, yeah, because she's still asking, like, am I allowed to talk to a black person?
So much racism we encounter. They don't even know they're being racist, and they think they're actually. It's a little Becky doing her protection of the black people. They don't need your black people. Don't need your protection. They're people. Just talk to them like people. Scribbles, you said you had a deep topic.
Yeah, I meant to ask this. I think I might have asked this sideways before, but I saw a second story today. So yesterday I mentioned a story from Reuters that said, in effect, win or lose, Beto O'Rourke is victorious.
Yeah.
Okay. And then earlier today, I saw a story from the Washington Post that said, again, I'm paraphrasing, even though Beto O'Rourke lost, he still made his mark. Okay. So here's my question, and I am being sincere when I ask this question. Okay. What is special about this guy? Before this election, I had never heard his name. I haven't had anybody say, he made an Obama, significant speech at some convention, or he, saved a baby from a burning building, or so. I still, to this moment, do not understand why this guy is such a darling, outside of the fact that people paid him a ton of money to try to beat Ted Cruz. Is that the only thing, or is there something else that I don't know about him?
No, they thought he was going to take down Ted Cruz, and they thought they were going to use Donald Trump's words to do it, and that was going to be a big fuck you to Donald Trump.
Okay, because I honestly, because they're talking about him like he's the second coming, and like I say, I don't watch network TV. I haven't paid attention to the Texas race because I don't live in Texas. I just dox myself. So I was honestly curious if maybe I had missed some other aspect to this guy's personality or actions that, ascended him to the level of this amount of attention.
What were you going to say, Satsu?
Aside from his popularity, or just his kind of sudden popularity that just came the fuck out of nowhere for whatever reason, the one thing that I thought was interesting that I was having a conversation with somebody about was the concept that a lot of these people who are being noted for the accomplishments that they've had, like the first Latino woman or the first Muslim woman to be put in these positions, how it feels to be them in this moment, thinking like, I've been working this hard, I've done all this stuff, and I've put all this effort into my politics to shape the type of world that I want to build. But the only merit that I have is I'm not that other person. And that's what I'm being held for. Not my accomplishments or not what I've done, but they're like, this person has a vagina. This person's a Muslim. This person isn't the other person. Therefore, they are a good person, or they're the right candidate. And I'm like, how does that feel, to work that hard and that's your recognition?
Well,
from somebody real quick, from somebody who
Sorry.
actually supports him, Three-Sided Coin says the truth is he was strong enough to take down Trump, to have enough charisma and stamina to do it. That's why he couldn't beat Ted Cruz.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know. That's what I'm asking because
Well,
I'm honestly confused.
to answer to, sorry, what was the thing you said, Satsu?
No, I was saying like for you to be working that hard and
Okay.
build yourself up on your policies and
So
that type of thing.
I think if you are operating under that ideology yourself, I think so. Like, I think if your ideology is I'm going to be the first Latino woman to blah blah blah, I'm going to be the first Muslim, then I think you'd probably be like, yeah, I'm the first blah blah blah. If you're not, then yeah, I can imagine that would be freaking annoying as hell.
Yeah,
I think it would depend on your
I'm-
personal ideology.
Three-Sided Coin corrected himself. He said Cruz, not Trump, is what he meant originally. But he didn't have the charisma and stamina to do it. It took a shit ton of money from outside the state. It took a shit ton of media coverage that he did not deserve, national media coverage. And I mean, he still came up short.
Same thing happened with Kemp and Abrams. I mean, frickin' Oprah was going door to door. Oprah.
Yeah, but that wasn't like a national, and nobody cared about that nationally.
Yeah, they did because of the voting
that.
thing.
You had to tell me who was even running.
Well, people cared about it because of the voting scandal, because of the voting.
In your state?
Yeah.
No,
well, no, it was a national story.
Yeah, they thought that Beto Bedoff was going to take down Ted Cruz, and they were really, really excited about getting to use Donald Trump's comments against Cruz, and they were going to show that they could beat down a staunch conservative in Texas. Thank you. The next 6 minutes. I think I'm going to be the next 6 minutes. Okay. With that, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to your time. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them in chat now. We'll do our best to pay attention and answer them. I don't have anything funny to say.
Oh.
I was going to try to say something funny to get comments, but related to the last topic, how do you turn down a Downs chick who's hitting on you?
Walk away.
Where did that come up? We were talking about hitting on Downs people?
Oh, they're hitting on them.
Yeah. Just tell them no.
Just walk away.
Timothy Sealbeck, I was working at a polling place yesterday and wasn't able to tell you it was my birthday. Want to sing? It was your birthday yesterday, Timothy. Well, around here, yes, we do sing when it's your birthday. And since you were not able to, why were you working at a polling place? Get a real job. No, I'm just kidding. That's nice of you to volunteer and get that stuff done for the country. That's an unsung hero right there, guys. But Timothy, I know you're listening, and this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
We represent the Lollipop Guild.
Happy birthday to you.
I mean, Scribe does.
Follow the yellow brick.
Birthday, Timothy Sealbeck. Happy birthday. Yesterday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
If he only had a heart.
Happy birthday. I hope you had
Happy
a great
birthday.
one. Let's see. Got to scroll back. There we are. Monkey isn't Ted Cruz popular in Texas? Yes, that's why he won. Yep. All elections are popularity contests, guys. SDA, what's your favorite pizza topping?
I said cheese in chat.
There you go. How do you know MoveOn.org has activated their protesters? Tomorrow there's a no one is above the law protest countrywide.
News to me, but I'm sure we'll read about it.
How's the blue raspberry SDA? Is it like a Jolly Rancher?
Yeah, actually, kind of does taste like the blue raspberry Jolly Rancher. It's yum.
Monk asks, what is the best lube for a really tight cooch? You know what? You don't need lube.
Sexual
Just
charisma.
stand across the room and run into it.
Stand across. Jesus. Charge! Up!
Put her on the end of a slip and slide. And
There you go.
A slip and slide. Yeah, just go out in the yard, get a slip and slide, have her on the end, and just go for it.
Yeah.
Just
You'll
make
be
sure
in.
you aim, because
Yeah, if you miss, that could be catastrophic.
yeah, you don't want to miss.
BG says, you have funny things to say? Since when? BG, what did I tell you? You can be mean to me on the other stream. Here you have to shut up. Jean-Pierre wants to know how Antifa got Tucker's address. How the fuck would I know?
That's a good question.
Don't know.
Phone book? I don't know. SDA, but what kind of cheese?
Like what it, I don't know, stock cheese, what it comes with.
Mozzarella?
Yeah, mozzarella. Yeah, mozzarella.
Any news about the alleged hack by the DNC in Georgia? Didn't even hear it. Anybody hear about this?
I don't know. I don't
Nope.
think that's a thing.
Did you guys hear about the idiot tweeting that the Democrats won the Senate popular vote? Fuck.
Oh my God! I
Jesus
don't.
Christ.
I get. I don't. Don't even with me. I can't. Ugh!
The Senate pop.
The Senate popular vote. That's not how voting works. And no, I hadn't heard about that, but God, I hate people.
You got me so upset. You made me vape into the camera.
Let's see. Happer says, Ranting Monkey, as your stance on having to know what's going on to vote, do you think you must pass a test to be able to vote showing that you know what the issues are? No. I didn't say that the people should be stopped from voting if they don't do that. I just think they should be decent people and not vote if they don't know. I don't like the idea of a test to vote. Yeah, never mind. Thoughts on flavored oral lube? Are you dating like a 90-year-old woman, Sheil?
That's like real. That's really weird.
I don't know.
Which way is that? Who is that for, though? Like, do you put that on the guy or the girl?
Well, you can put it on either. When we were younger, Spencer's is a great place, y'all. We went, and we got different flavory things, and I mean, I like the original. I like Lay's plain.
Just use some Hershey's chocolate syrup.
There you go.
Creatively, and that's all you need.
Of you, Scribe, and Satsu, who is the Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion?
Haven't we had this question before?
I probably. I don't know. I'm either the Scarecrow or the Tin Man. Because I would say I'm the Scarecrow because I sometimes don't think much. I just blurt it out there.
Yeah, I'm probably the Tin Man then, because Squishy has whatever fragments of my heart are left.
Aww.
I thought Monkey'd be the Tin Man because he's all rusty in his joints.
Well, there's that too.
That wasn't his problem, though.
Oh, so that makes me the Cowardly Lion.
By default, just like you're the whore by default or the slut by default. It's okay.
But what, there's a difference between a whore and a slut, Monkey. One is a business.
I'm a whore, you're a
enterprise.
slut. I know.
Oh, okay.
If we Scribe, if we put that in the context to your kind of hesitancy to interact with women now because of the current climate, that could be it.
I guess you could make that leap, I suppose. Although I mean, call it cowardly so much as sort of like pragmatic, but the pragmatic lion.
He's the pragmatic slut lion.
Yeah.
Harbo says, did you see the NBC headline where they implied the White House aide was at fault? No, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was just like, the White House aide, tries to fight back against Acosta or something.
I think it's funny as fuck that the news outlets are all over this Acosta thing, and nobody's talking about Tucker really. And of the two, which one is more important for the press? So it was pretty amazing that Beto almost beat Ted Cruz in the extremely red state of Texas. Well, Texas isn't as red as it used to be. There's a whole bunch of liberals who, despite
they moved there
fucking up California, have moved to Texas to try to fuck it up.
It's so.
And
But,
it was arguably closer than one might have thought, given Texas's history.
This drives me nuts, though. A bunch of liberals moved there because it's better. Why was it better? Because it's a deep red state. So what are we going to do? We're going to move to a deep red state and do what? Vote Democrat.
There's also the very strong possibility that people were like, Ted's going to win. I'm going to stay home and play Red Dead.
Sure.
Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing impressive about Beto. Sorry. Bedoff lost, and he if he runs against Trump, he's not even going to make it through the primary. I think he'd probably be the first one to drop.
If you move to a red state because you like it better and you vote Democrat, go sit in the fucking corner.
It's not that they like it better. It's that they like the lower taxes. They like things about it.
Yeah, because it's a red state. Go sit in the fucking. Sorry.
You don't understand. It's like communism. It just hasn't been tried right. Sorry.
Hey, SDA, would you beat off an orc?
What?
Would you beat off an orc?
What?
Would you beat off an orc?
This is going to be right up there with Meatloaf.
Well, she wasn't here yesterday.
Is this a World of Warcraft thing?
No.
No.
It's a Beto O'Rourke beat off an orc.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we?
SDA isn't an English major, guys, just so you
know. There's breaking news. Things saying sources tell Deputy AG Rod Rosenstein will be offering his resignation within the next 48 hours. Think that's true?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Me neither.
Yeah, given that he's been passed over, given his loyalty to Sessions, and not wanting his name involved any further with the investigation if it goes sideways from what the public would interpret as a good thing. Yeah.
Random American. She's an English private. Exactly.
Can you guys hold this for a second? I need to step away for just a moment. I'll be as fast as I can.
Okay. So, Monkey's a jerkwad.
If you jumped SDA, that still would have gone over your head. You're right. It would have. SDA's stupid. What are you going to do?
Dumb American. I mean, it's in the name.
It is.
I feel like Monkey pulled out his dick before he said that. For a second. He's probably chuckling to himself right now.
What is shorter? Oh. All right, bye. There's.
Can you speak okay?
Popcorn or Pringles? Popcorn or Pringles, guys?
Depends on the popcorn. Depends on the Pringles. There's lots of
kinds.
kinds.
Kind of the same. If I'm at the movies, popcorn. If I'm in the mood for Pringles.
Pringles.
If it was still, there was if Pringles still had the license for the barbecue sauce flavor they used to have back in the day, not the current one. I forget who it was. It was a Casey Masterpiece or something. Anyway, they had a license for a very specific type of barbecue sauce, and those tasted great. When they lost that license or whatever, and they went with whatever they've got now, it tastes like ass.
Yeah. Plus, Lay's stacks are better.
Yeah, Lay's Stacks barbecue is great. I can't. My local store doesn't carry them anymore for some reason, which pisses me off.
Whoa, Eddie. Yeah,
a lot of stores recently stopped carrying the barbecue ones, which is super strange.
Yeah, I don't know. Disappointing.
Wouldn't it make sense if the Lord of Punishment is the one who needs a heart?
I am a gentle and loving dominant to an extent.
Exactly. Scribe administers punishment with love.
That's true. That is actually very true.
Exactly.
SDA, which book did you most enjoy to write? Well, I liked them both for different reasons. I mean, Livescraft was the first book I wrote,
Sorry about
so
that.
I liked it. So I enjoyed writing it a lot. I got to, yeah, you get to go through the whole writing experience for the first time. But I wrote Blackwoods the beginning with my best friend. We came up with the concept when we were 14. Then we found it on my computer and looked at the world building notes, and we were like, we can do something with this. So we picked it back up. And I wrote it with my best friend. So it's co-authoring and authoring by yourself is a very different experience. So I can't say which one I liked better. I will say writing the sequel to Livescraft, Yorda, which is what I'm working on now, beta reading, people are beta reading it right now, has been more fun than Livescraft just because the workflow has been smoother, obviously, because I'm more experienced and I know I kind of know what I'm doing now. So yeah, that's kind of, if that makes sense. But yeah.
Toasted asked me if I could sing the song that he DM'd me. No. Was that too short? Popcorn or Pringles? Pringles.
Kind of.
I like so many, but there's also it really lessens the chance of breaking your teeth.
Oh, that's also true. Yeah, and you don't necessarily burn Pringles accidentally.
Dentists really, really, really like popcorn.
Dennis?
I bet.
Dentists, yeah.
Oh, dentists.
Because it brings them lots of business.
Yes.
One of the more common popcorn related injuries is one of the little husks going in between your tooth and your gum.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's if you can't get it out yourself, you got to go see a dentist to get them to do that.
Man, fuck that.
Yeah.
Oh, and be careful feeding popcorn to your dogs. They can choke on it because of the husks that are in it. So be careful. By the way,
It's a dog. No one cares.
Spunky.
What?
The dog, no one cares. All right, thanks, Monkey.
Dragon Age lore
That's not
versus
nice.
Elder Scroll lore. Elder Scroll lore.
Yeah, Elder Scroll lore is much richer. I like some of the Dragon Age lore that they've established, but yeah, Elder Scrolls is far, far better executed.
I agree.
And they've also had a lot longer to flesh it out. So
That's true too. Yeah, over many games. The thing I'm surprised by is they haven't done many Elder Scroll. I don't even know if they have any Elder Scrolls novels and such. Just the games. They haven't made like a D&D adaptation of Elder Scrolls, which really surprises me.
Sleepy Doodle said, if you could, okay, basically what she's asking, if I could take a pill that got rid of my crippledness, but it gave it to somebody that I loved, would I do it? Fuck no.
Oh, nah.
Not never. I would take somebody's pain. I would never give it to them. Next 6 minutes ask nacho cheese or salsa. Now I want to say I love both, but nacho cheese because I'm an American, damn it. Cheese is an American thing. We put cheese on everything, and that's what makes you American. If you don't put cheese on like your cereal, you're just wrong. You're a communist Russian.
What? Cheese on your cereal?
I was kidding.
Oh. Well,
No,
I don't know what you're kidding about. Like, you might not be kidding about that.
He wasn't kidding because cereal is soup.
Cereal is soup, but it's
no,
not.
it's
a soup
not.
that you can put cheese on. Really.
Yeah, it is snot. Oh no, it's not. Oh, sorry.
You know what?
You know what? Now every time you know what?
I would probably try it on like shredded wheat because there's no taste. So then it's just like milk and cheese. I would try that.
You know, if I start dating somebody, I'm gonna have to ask them if cereal is soup.
It is.
Oh, as a filtering question.
Yeah.
Are you a worthy mate?
Yeah, is cereal soup?
Vor says, do you think Bethesda can overcome the Fallout 76 cheating concerns? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, they just have. I mean, I'm kind of amazed when I read that post. It was like, hey, since all these files are client side, I decided to go in and tweak some things, and lo and behold, I can give myself infinite life. And also, that was like, yeah, that sounds like a really grade school error on Bethesda's part. That better be patched out lickety split.
Why will Bethesda never make a Fallout game on the West Coast? Are they just afraid of the fan backlash or just too lazy to make it work? I think oh, go ahead.
Well, I mean, wait, make it on the West Coast like produce, or you're talking about telling the story? Because the story's been told on the West Coast in the first 4 games, the isometric games. And Bethesda is located in real life.
But Bethesda didn't own them then.
Well, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't own them then, and so to separate themselves, they went to the East Coast where Bethesda's offices were based and everything. And I think Todd Howard's from there or from the East Coast. So yeah, they've tried to sort of separate themselves from the first set of games geographically. And you would hope story-wise, except that they have retained so many things from the original Fallout universe in 76, which shouldn't exist yet in the timeline, like Brotherhood of Steel.
They explained how that exists.
Yeah, and it's a stupid explanation. It is it's a lame and lazy retcon. It is so bad.
What, that somebody had heard about it, so they
Oh no, because the guy contacted a still functioning satellite and sent the message forth onto the East Coast, and they're like, hey, "Fuck you." No, that's dumb. Come up with something new.
You're a hater. I also think that going on the East Coast makes more sense just because there's a lot more history there.
Yeah.
And if you're going back to the time, I mean, remember, this is an alternate history line where things like pretty much stopped in the 50s. Things that would be highly revered still would be all of the historical areas of that are all up and along the.
Yeah.
Look, California doesn't have anything historical. The only thing they got is the gold rush.
Yeah,
and
the most iconic Americana is going to be found on the East Coast, just because of how our history works. So if you're talking about a game that really focuses on sort of this hyper lore of American supremacy and exceptionalism and everything in a idealized 1950s futuristic thing, but the East Coast is the place to go.
Thank you, Snowstorm. Came here for Monkey Man Titties. I'm disappointed. My titties are out.
Oh God.
I can't wear a shirt, guys. My titties are usually out. Let's see. What else do we have here? Is a truck a sedan? What?
No.
Yeah. Is a Chevy Nova a truck if you take out the back window?
And check your logic. No, I don't have a boyfriend.
The Celtic Mandalore. Is that you, Jaster? Did you name your rechange your name? Do y'all think Bethesda will ever care about lore or go back to making good stories again? They have story-driven games coming up. They're in the pipeline already. We have glimpses of them already.
Are you talking about like just in general or Fallout games? Because yeah, they've got Starfield is on the way. They are working on Elder Scrolls 6 or whatever, even though it's going to be a while. I mean, they're making more games. I don't know. You can't tell the quality until they come out, though. So.
Yeah, I don't understand why people are so hyperbolic about that. Go ahead, Monkey. I'm sorry.
Real quick, thank you, Snowstorm. Yeah, but I can't see them. Fuck YouTube censors. You just draw yourself some and pretend they're mine. Anyway, go ahead. You're saying, Satsu? Hyperbolic?
Well, a lot of people are just like, because Bethesda decided to try something new on a market that's relatively popular right now, that a lot of people are, trying to delve into, and they figure, our platform is a good platform to try something like this. They've completely given up on creative, good narrative stories, and they don't give a they decided to try something new and tap into a market that is objectively popular right now. So I don't understand why people are acting like, well, they're just incapable of creating games that are good anymore because they tried to do this.
They won't do it.
Yeah,
I understand it because gamers want look at the Diablo thing. You know what? Diablo Immortal may be a great game, but it's not something I'm going to play because I'm not interested in it at all. But I'm not going to sit there and go, well, Blizzard can never make a good game again.
Well, and the thing is, too, people aren't upset at the existence of this game in itself. They're upset at the fact that they said, here, you're getting this thing whether you like it or not, and if you don't like it, fuck off. That's what people are upset about. Other than that, they wouldn't care. If they came out and said, we're making this thing because we feel like the mobile market needs to be tapped, but don't worry, we got shit coming for you guys, too, then people would be like, oh, well, cool. We don't give a fuck about that thing, but awesome.
No, they'd
Well,
still
most
be mad.
people,
They'd
most
be like,
rational gamers would have been fine with that.
no. You're wrong. They'd be like, why don't we get it first? And
I mean,
why are you
maybe
ignoring
some people.
Why are you ignoring the PC players and giving the mobile guys for something new first?
yeah, we've already seen that with the consoles, man. Real quick, Snowstorm, thank you. I hope Fallout 76 bankrupts them. That's not cool. I like Bethesda. Bethesda makes some really good games. They're one of the few people who do make really good story games.
I mean, if you take like New Vegas and compare it to Fallout 4, storyline wise, Fallout 4 is far weaker and feels a lot less open. Because I hate the fact that Fallout 4 forces you into a specific storyline and mission and all that stuff. I didn't like that because at least the other Fallout games kind of left that relatively open ended. But I hope they go back to a sort of voiceless, open ended character progression kind of deal with their future games, especially with Elder Scrolls, because that's kind of the hallmark of the game is you can sort of go anywhere and make up your own story.
You're not going to see the kind of Bethesda games they used to make because, well, frankly, they're making everything for consoles, and PC is a secondary thought to them now.
Which is stupid.
Well, it is, but it's not, because consoles is where you make money. It just is.
Well, but just because it makes for a console doesn't mean you can't, have the kind of open-ended choice that, say, Skyrim has when you first start the game. You just go off and do whatever you want, and you can avoid the entire main storyline quest. With Fallout 4, you couldn't. It was baked into the whole thing. This was your story. This was your quest, and you don't have any choice in the matter.
Thank you, Red Castry. Scribe, Ranting Monkey, did you see it's a Gundam's 76 video? No. 6 planned DLCs for 76, unencrypted plain text, netcode, easy hacking.
Yay! Well, again, if Bethesda's doesn't address these things quick, they're going to be in. I'm not going to play it if I end up running up against a bunch of hackers and stuff. So
yeah, hacking is not new to any game.
No. But I mean, Bethesda should know better if it's that easy for hacking. I mean, why? I mean, if such remedial problems like that come about in their first release of this stuff, especially since they hired on people that had done MMOs and multiplayer before, it boggles me that the guys are catching this many problems ahead of launch. That well, let's wait until the next patch comes out, I guess. But it's just kind of silly to me that they've let that happen.
Just anybody who's doing it right now, don't be surprised when you lose your Bethesda account.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, will mean access to your game.
Yeah.
Because we've seen that before, too. Look, even if it was a more complicated code, it's still a new code, a new game, and there's always an exploit when it first comes out. And then people cheat. The cheat gets fixed, and then they get banned, and they're like, I don't understand why I got banned. Yeah, you do. You cheated, dick. Stop it.
Don't cheat. Yeah, don't.
The Celtic Mandalore says 2 different Bethesdas, Bethesda Game Studios and Bethesda Softworks.
There's going to be a Breaking Bad sequel movie.
Why? How?
It's going to follow Jesse Pinkman's story after the events of the series.
Jesse up so bad, I don't even care about him.
His ending was perfect. It's just open ended. You don't know. Just let it go.
He might as well have not been in the last fucking how many seasons were there? 6?
6 or 7.
Yeah. So after season 2, he didn't even need to be there anymore.
Well, he was originally
supposed
to die in the first season, but
the
chemistry between him and Walt, the actors and the characters, was so much that they decided to keep the character on. He was supposed to be a temporary character.
I know everybody loves him for his bitch thing, which is the only thing he did good. He was just such a whiny bitch through the whole series. He made me hate the series.
I liked his Igor role to a certain extent, and his evolution overall, and his sort of like, he was like the Job character to Walt's God, So there are elements of his character that I really like, but yeah, his being naive and irritating lasted probably about a season and a half longer than it should have before he kind of wised up kind of stuff. But yeah.
They could have just had a couch sit there and it would have been more interesting than him. AMC's just wanting to milk all their biggest properties. Of course they do. I love that. Yes, you guys, people want to make money. That's true.
What?
And when you have a popular series, you're gonna do that. You don't necessarily have to take it to the movies, but how many of these series? I mean, Walking Dead has a spinoff, for fuck's sake.
Oh my god. Okay, so a lot of people have been giving me a hard time because I've still been watching Walking Dead because I'm just like, I'm not gonna say it's good, but I am curious as to what's going to happen. But after the whole Rick's final episode thing and that trailer that they showed for the new stuff that's going to be happening, I think I almost gave myself a coma with the face palm. It's fucking stupid. I mean, like really, really stupid. And I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. So I'm still gonna watch it. But I'm like, how is this a thing? I think I heard a zombie talk. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Yeah. So if anybody saw the trailer,
I saw it, and I'm just kind of like, because my parents watch it religiously. So because I used to watch it, and I got them into it, and they watch it religiously, and so I keep up with it through them. And so I watched the trailer, and I was like, "Is that where this has gone?" Okay.
It doesn't make any sense.
All right.
Red Castry says New Vegas is best Fallout 3, New Vegas 4, and isn't by Bethesda. That was by Obsidian, wasn't it? Who did?
Yeah, Obsidian did New Vegas, but yeah, and again,
I think
and a lot of the guys that worked on New Vegas worked on the original Fallout games. So they already kind of knew the temperament and the humor and kind of the feeling of that. 3 was really good. Vegas felt more like Fallout though, but it didn't look as good. So
I think New Vegas felt like an Obsidian game, and if you've played their games, you'll understand what that means. They're often, when they take somebody else's property and make a game, they did it with Neverwinter Nights. They did it with Knights of the Old Republic.
It's not a bad thing necessarily, though.
No, I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but for me, there's parts of it I just don't like because they have certain. They are dead set on and having you run around with NPCs in most of their games.
You don't have to in New Vegas.
All right, I'll stop that thought.
Jesus Christ.
Let's see.
All right.
What are the questions we have? Toasted keeps asking, why are all dentist players? I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Wait, just hold on. Obsidian's dead set in having you run around with NPCs, and Bethesda's Fallout 4 wasn't.
Wait, what?
Well, if Monkey's complaint is that running around with NPCs is forced upon you as an Obsidian hallmark, then tell me why Fallout 4 is any different.
I've said many times I hate Fallout 4.
Okay.
Although Fallout 4 was like this kind of on the rails, like, you're supposed to do this is your story, but
that's what I didn't like about it.
I feel like nobody told me that because I forgot I had a fucking son. I was playing that game just like, oh shit.
I could make a very pointed joke right now, but I think Satsu just kind of opened the door way too wide for me.
Well, that's part of the fun of Fallout, and we had it with the Forest too. Once they fixed the first game, because the first game there used to be a time limit on it, so you had to go find the water purifier.
That sucked.
Once they fixed that, you can wander around Fallout all you want and not really give a shit about the main story.
Exactly.
And then there are games where that's fun, and I appreciate that.
Skyrim.
Yeah. Satsu, I have no son.
I walked into that one.
Oh God, Monk.
Monk said what I didn't, basically.
Snowstorm.
Thank you, Snowstorm, for the obvious.
Well, you're black, so that's okay. You guys are.
Y'all are like the fucking seagulls on Finding Nemo, man.
I feel like we got more comments about that than when we were joking about not caring about Timmy.
I know.
Look at all the mods for Fallout 4.
Yeah. No, I mean, you can mod Fallout 4 to make it a better game. Like I modded it to take myself out of the story and change the damage and everything. So it's more like Skyrim in the sense that now I can start blank and just kind of go off and do things without having to worry about getting stuck in the story.
I really hate modding my games, especially if I have to, like, because I think you've mentioned the Scribe where you felt like you had to do that to make it the game you wanted.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have to do that.
No,
look, mods are great, and people want it, but yeah, you're right. You shouldn't have to do that for it to be the game you want.
No, I mean, I had hoped that the next Fallout would be like Fallout's Skyrim, in the sense that and like so many other Fallout games. I mean, yeah, you have an initiating spark of what gets you out into the world, but after that, you can pick whatever direction you want to go. In Fallout 4, you couldn't avoid anything without getting into the storyline and having to be someone's parent and having to find your son and all the stuff revolving around these things. You couldn't avoid it, and it sucked. And that's why, I shouldn't have to mod it that way, but I did, because I like the setting and I like the world and I want to play in it and not feel like I'm tied down to one particular chain of events.
I just looked at the time. I was having a monkey in the morning thing. We're having a decent discussion, so we're just going to keep going. But it's time to end. Yeah. I do want to point out that where was it? Hang on. Jack Gunsky says, Satsu, I think you're going to be a good father because you're a black man. So.
Oh, that's racist.
Because white people can't be good fathers.
That's right. That's true.
I appreciate that very racist statement.
That's right. Chat, thank you guys so much for the donations. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. You are the best audience on YouTube. You're the best audience in the world, and I will bite anyone who says different. Satsu, Scribbles, a pleasure as always. SDA, thanks for coming and hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Don't forget, guys, we are going to be playing
7 Days to Die.
Thank you.
There you go.
Fuck. 7 Days to Die over on 2 Cents Plus in just a few minutes. You can join us if you go to our Discords. You can just come watch if you'd like. If you do join us, it has to be on PC, and we're giving away a copy of 7 Days to Die for the PC tonight. So get over there and get in on that. We like giving away free things. Come take our free stuff. But everyone, your lives make us sad, and we'll see you next time, which is tomorrow on Satsu's channel.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hashtag coat her walls.
Bye, everybody.
This chicken is delicious.
Oh, here goes some more racist comments.
Jesus.
God damn it.
Is it right for me to point out to Satsu how racist he is?
You need to do a poll on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Not my poll, mind you.
I'm not going to do your poll ever.
Today's secret phrase is Black Father.